right, guys, it is Thursday night and we have Johnny Litecoin, the one and only payments master, ready to unleash on us. He's had enough. He's ready to tell you all about it. So join us, jump in the live chat, make sure you like and share, and then get in the live chat with the greatest crew. Ask all the questions. I'll be posting them in the bottom of the little video tonight. And find freedom by choosing personal responsibility. Be right back with Johnny right after this. All right, Johnny. Nana just came down here. She was like, I thought you were on the show this whole time. I would have come down and said hello.
Hey, Nana.
She'll jump in afterwards. She wants to say hi to you afterwards, but she said she's not camera ready. So
okay, gotcha. Fair enough.
Yeah. Welcome back. I saw you've been tweeting like Nana and myself. Been angry Johnny today on a tear. So what's got you all fired up?
Usually if I do a video, it's because something tweaked me and I just get like, and I'm too angry. You notice in my videos, I punch my hand a lot. I feel like I'm like, because I have so much, like I'm so like, I guess it's better than breaking my screen. So I punch my hand. So certain things tweak me and then I do a videos. I don't do a lot of them because I try not to be like walking around angry all the time, but you know, certain things do get to me. So there was a doctor that I like the doctor, not that I'm mad at the doctor, just the situation got me angry because he's why don't you show the video in the tweet, Lisa? So
okay, let me do that. Let's see, am I doing this right? They changed this up and it's thrown me off a little bit. Share screen. Oh, I hate technology some days. There it is, Johnny Litecoin. Johnny, watch it again. All right, are we ready? It says
so truth. Go to the tweet underneath first so we could see what
okay. Oh, the one that he posted.
So yeah. So okay. Breaking news, payment provider Wise appears to have stolen funds from at least 25 to 30 of my cancer patients. They closed my account without any notice or explanation. I filed an appeal, but it was rejected without explanation. I've alerted my cancer patients, and none of them have received funds back from Wise. First, it was an attack on Stripe. Now it's Wise. It appears that helping cancer patients with ivermectin will get you debanked. Anyone know what I can do about this? How can I pursue Wise on this theft and fraud of my cancer patient funds? So it got me angry because obviously the situation's bad. You know, the guy lost out. This guy's a popular guy that tweets a lot about COVID and what happened. He's trying to help these cancer patients out. So obviously the situation got me mad, but it just got me mad thinking about it because this is why I set out on the journey of Litecoin and why it was so needed. And the crypto community, I look at us like we're like the Bloods and the Crips in these street gangs. We killed each other because you got everybody being so tribal, Bitcoin maximalists, you know, aka the CIA, like it's Bitcoin maximalism's like Operation Mockingbird. So you got that front, then you got scams going on. So we all just killed each other and self-imploded, and we took our eye off of the ball. We actually had a chance to have better payments to fight the bad guys with. But instead, we got manipulated by the fast money and all that.
Number go up was a huge distraction. Yeah.
And you don't want to actually use the stuff. You want to just make money from it, make fiat kind of thing. So it got me mad because I was like, man, we've had a chance for years to actually transact in a better manner, and people are still kicking and screaming about when the regular payment system screws them. And it's like this like big revelation for him. And it's like, this is what we've been talking about for years.
Right.
And,
right.
and we've been always laughed at, or it won't happen to me. I don't need that. The banking system works for me. Well, obviously it ain't working for people. So if it's not working for them, it's at some point it's not going to work for you. And at that point, it's too late. They got your money. They got everything. You know what I mean? So you can't do anything about it. Like in that guy's situation, they took the money from his clients, which are cancer patients. They're trying to treat their cancer. He's trying to provide them a product to do it, ivermectin. So he never got the money. They paid. The financial institution didn't give him the money, which they're allowed to do. They can do this. They don't operate on the laws we do. We have to operate on those laws when we transact with these banking institutions. They'll come after us for bank fraud, for laundering, for all types of stuff. You go in and rob a bank, you're getting arrested. They can rob us, and it's fine. It's business as usual because they're not operating on U.S. law.
I was going to say, how is this not some kind of wire fraud that they pulled back? That they frauded him, basically, that they're pulling, that's a transaction between him and his patient, and then they're inserting their belief about ivermectin.
Sure.
And they're not only canceling the transaction between him and the patient, then they're not even returning the funds to the patient.
No, they hold it for risk. They hold it
so that they're preventing the patient from being able to find another payment route.
They won't ever return the funds to the patient. The guy is still supposed to provide the service, and then at some point, he won't get the money. So at some point, the patient won't get the money back. He won't get the money. It just gets sucked up by the system. And it's perfectly legal because in their terms and conditions, they say, we reserve the right at any time to cancel your service or pull funds or do all this without any reason. Without any reason. They have it clear as day in there without any reason. So it's in all the terms and conditions, even though it's hard to find them all, but it is in there somewhere when you sign up in those hundreds of pages of legal jargon that you're supposed to look through. The reason being, they have to do that because of like Operation Choke Point and all this stuff. They have to be able to just go in and say, hey, we don't like you kind of thing. We're taking the money from you.
And even further back in history, not just because of Operation Choke Point, but because of the Patriot Act, yes, which enabled them to be able to violate our Fourth Amendment right to privacy and have the anti-money laundering,
AML compliance,
where they send reports. They spy on you without your permission and without notifying you that they're looking at your accounts. And then they send reports without your notification to these 3-letter agencies. It's all in the Patriot Act. This is all happening in real time to all of us. And so today I noticed, well, let's do your video first.
Patriot Act never caught a terrorist. I'm going to throw that out there. It's only ever came after each and every one of us. It's never caught a single terrorist. It never has.
Because that was never their intention.
Never. Their intention was to weaponize the financial system against us. You know, conveniently, they did it around 9/11. They had it ready to go a couple days after 9/11. It's almost like they wanted 9/11 to happen so they could do this to us. Wait, was that the reason for why 9/11 happened? Well, probably one of them, I'm sure. Like, I think they always have multiple key sets of agenda. They don't do anything to us for one reason. It's not like, oh, COVID, they did that to us because of this. Well, one of the reasons, but they had multiple key sets of agenda. They always
say never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's listen to what Johnny has to say. Make sure I got my volume up.
Hey, what's up, guys? Johnny Litecoin here. How's it going today? All right, guys. Unfortunately, there's nothing that this doctor can do about having his account closed and his money stolen from him. Nothing he can do at all. The globalist banking cartel can take your money whenever they want with no questions asked and not give you a reason as to why they did so. Anytime you use any financial product, they can hold your money for 180 days. They can even take more from you. They can just go into your bank account and suck out whatever they want, shut your account down. You can't talk to anybody. All right? We've talked about this in the past. This is why Litecoin and Bitcoin are the answer. Unfortunately, we're met with such resistance from the public and from everybody. We need this for freedom money to transact with. Forget this number go up bullshit for a minute, right? That's what they want. The bad guys want you to think of fucking meme coins and bullshit. We needed Litecoin. We needed Bitcoin. So we actually have fucking freedom. We can get away from these lunatics, all right? So let me explain what happened to this doctor. They didn't obviously agree with what he was doing. Probably the cancer industrial complex, the medical industrial complex, probably got pissed at him because he was providing something other than chemotherapy as a treatment. Ivermectin, it looks like. So what they did was they took money from the clients that paid him. They closed his account down, so he never got the funds. The clients got the money taken from them. He never got the money, so he doesn't have money to provide the service. And basically behind the scenes, the banking industrial complex, the globalist banking cartel was like, yeah, fuck you. They don't care, right? Their answer would be, well, you still provide the service anyways. You should have that money in reserve. Guys, wake up. The reason Bitcoin, Litecoin, all this stuff, we need it to actually transact with, to get us away from these fucking lunatics. No one's coming to save you. Trump isn't coming to save you. Other people aren't coming to save you. Guys, we need to take responsibility. It's sad what happened to this doctor, but it's what goes on up there. Peace.
That's right. And I will agree with you. I think Trump's coming to destroy the financial system. I don't think he's coming to save you.
No.
We're supposed to save ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not, he's not coming to save you. I hate to say it. Love him or hate him, however your view is on him. And it's not like, oh, he's doing all this good. I can just sit back. Trump's no. He needs all hands on deck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the whole, that's why I changed my little background to my, finding freedom, to find your personal responsibility. That's where we are. It's time for everyone to grow up. It's time to stop being victims. It's time for, I watched, there was this week, I found in fact, I think it was released last week, but there was an interview with the people that did the curriculum for my son's, the curriculum that we're using to homeschool my son, Lee Borton, and her son, Robert, I believe is his name, on the Sean Ryan show. And she's describing this situation with she's talking about how there's these 3 things of authority that the Bible talks about, and how like the way it's supposed to be, and the government's supposed to be this very small thing that like only deals with like bad guys. Like they're supposed to like put to death and arrest like really bad people. And that's pretty much their only job,
Protect property rights, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. People that infringe on property rights, any of those kind of things, but it's about like keeping them away.
It's to protect us, not to come after
us. But
us.
not to provide for us.
That's not to provide for us either.
The family is supposed to provide. We're supposed to provide for ourselves, and our family is supposed to provide for us. If our family is unable to do that for us, then the church and the church used to be not people that went and dressed up and sang a bunch of songs and acted like they were holier than thou. But the church used to be the community. They used to get together and have a meal together and share. And so if your family couldn't or was lacking, then your church or your community would help. And and so she was having this talk with this single mom about, not taking these vouchers from the government for homeschooling. And the single mom was like, well, but remember last year, before the vouchers, I had to work a part-time job, and my aunt had to come help me with the kids. And she goes, do you hear what you're saying? Like, so what you're telling me is before that, the vouchers, you worked hard, which gives you a sense of pride and accomplishment. And you depended on your family to help you with your kids, your children. And now you depend on the government.
Yeah.
And it
becomes addictive.
Yeah. That is not a good thing, people. No. That is not us ascending, growing, becoming enlightened. That's not going in the right direction, people. No. That's not becoming adults. That's becoming children. That's becoming dependents, not becoming independent.
I don't blame the people. I blame the system and the government.
I do blame the people. Yes, I blame the people. I'm tired of making excuses for everyone, myself included. Myself included.
I blame the people.
Myself included. I screw up and I do make mistakes all the time. Probably every single day. But when I do, I hope that I can be humble enough to see it and learn from it. I recently had a mistake pointed out to me by somebody I have a lot of respect for. And he said, you know what? But we had a part in that too, because we shouldn't have trusted so much. And we should have, before we did XYZ, we should have done ABC. And I said, you know what? You're exactly right. And I said, and that is why taking personal responsibility,
accountability,
gives you freedom. Yeah. And so you have to, you can't say, oh, they did it to me, because then you'll never be free. You have to say, you know what?
You gotta take
I learned my lesson. You're right. I will take responsibility in that. I'll never let that lesson happen to me again, because I learned my lesson that time. And now next time I'm wiser. You win or you learn. That's what my husband taught me, his martial arts stuff. You win or you learn. And that's what we move forward.
System we're in, right? Like, look at the word, the feds. Ooh, if the people say, oh, if the feds come after you, you are screwed. Well, that shouldn't be the type of system we're in.
Shouldn't. We should be like, oh, a Fed, they work for us.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Instead, it's like this scary monster. And then, God forbid, they come after you and like say it's something they charge you with, right? Now, all of a sudden, they're like, it's like your lawyer will be like, well, the feds have a 97% win rate. So now we have to settle this, right? So now there's people that are doing like prison time for stuff they didn't do, because they're like, yeah, well, my lawyer said if I try to fight the feds and take it to trial, they offer me 4 years. I'm going to get 15 years. They're going to penalize me because I wanted to defend myself. They're going to penalize you because you're going to exercise your right. Now they're going to penalize you.
Because Johnny, they have unlimited resources. Yes. They have how many money printing machines? They found 14 so far. How many more are there out there?
And that's what they did to Ross Ulbricht originally.
Yeah.
They offered him.
Look what they did to Roger Ver.
They offered him, I think it was, I don't think it was even that long. I think it was like 10 years or 15 years, which is still obviously a long time, but not the double life sentence plus 40 years he got. They offered him like 10 or 15 years, and he turned him down because he said it was his right to take him to trial. He felt he had a strong case. Mm-hmm. And because he took it to trial, they made an example of him and said, now we're giving him a life sentence. And this is the worst. And I blame the people that work for the government. See, people say, oh, well, they're just doing their job, Johnny. Who decides to do this? What kind of lunatics decide to do this? I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to go to law school at one point, and people were like, oh, I mean, be a good lawyer, Johnny. I was like, oh, yeah, wow, it seems fun. Then I thought about it. I said, I couldn't do it. You know why? Conscience. I could never defend a child molester.
Right.
If you're a new lawyer and you're a criminal defense attorney, guess what? You work for a firm. They get a child molester, and you got to defend them. And people say, well, that's I couldn't do it. I said, there's no way in hell I could do it. I would kill him myself. I'll pretend like, I'm going to get information from him and take him out, right? I couldn't do it. So, but there's certain jobs I know I couldn't do. It's morally wrong, right? And I just couldn't do it. It's harassing people. But these lunatics that do, I realized that at some blockchain conferences I've been to, where it's a lot of 3-letter agencies, and they talk about AML and KYC and monitoring and the money launder risk. These people's eyes are bulging out of their heads. These fucking lunatics get off on this stuff. And I just said, these are some real sick people that decide to do this stuff. Real sick people. Real sick. And I remember one conference I said on stage, I said, these people are lying to you. All of them. All these, we know who they are. I said, I don't think you could launder money with crypto. And I explained how you can launder money much easier through the banking system. I said, I'll be in the hall after if any of these guys want to debate me. I said, but you'll hear a freaking pin drop out there because they know I'm right and they're wrong. And they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah. They're all compensating for something. And that's why they signed up to get a false authority, from wherever. And that's why they're so easily offended. In Roger Vere's case, when he was, when they arrested him when he was a kid for selling tannerite or whatever on eBay. And they said, it was when he had run for some public position.
He ran as a libertarian in California for a Senate seat, I believe.
Okay. And he said he talked about Waco and he called them like baby killers or child
ATF he called, yeah.
Yes. And and they were trying to his attorney was like, look, it's tannerite. Like you had never some sporting goods place has sold it. You've never put anyone in jail for this. Like, let's plea this out, whatever. And they were like, you didn't hear what he called us. Like they
also said, he said taxation is theft.
Yes.
Well, that's his right to say that. It's against the Constitution. You know what I mean?
But that's when that is breaking professional protocol and they're taking it personal. And that's when they're trying to prove something because they're lacking something in their own personal life and they're going after them through their false authority.
And look, I tell people this, right? Pay your taxes. I tell people, pay your taxes. You don't want to go to jail. Try to pay as little as you can. Use use the system to your advantage as much as you can. Yeah. Never, ever, ever tell people you're being patriotic by paying your taxes. Never, ever, ever. I tell people it's against our constitutional right. The only reason you do it is so you don't go to jail. That's it. You never feel good about this ever because you're screwing everyone by doing it. You have to do it to stay out of jail, but never think you're doing something good by doing it. Never, ever. Don't look in the mirror and say, I paid my taxes. I feel like a good American. No, you're a fucking slave. That's what you are.
Yeah. And you're contributing to that's where morally, when you see what's happening and what you're contributing to, I don't know. That's a hard pill to swallow this year for me personally. Knowing the babies that are dying, and part of me is torn because it's like, well, not torn. I mean, I'm saying this wrong. It's like I'm now understanding that paying my taxes did nothing. Because they had magic printing machines and because they were issuing payments, whether I paid a dime in or not.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Nothing I did mattered.
No.
They were going to go set bombs off wherever they were going to set bombs.
Yeah.
And they were going to go
control of us. It's a control system.
I didn't have a say in any of that.
And they want to they don't need accountants with such better technology. And I know, look at all this, like, we take so many steps forward and so many steps back. Even like this whole thing now, voter ID and all this. I tell people that system's irrelevant. We can have blockchain-based voting, right?
Yeah.
There's such better technology. I'm against voter ID. I don't think we need to be voting in that way. We should all be voting in a different manner where an ID is obsolete. Because you can beat the ID system. What are these people? You're going to give your, you're giving your ID to some clown at the voting place, and
they just admitted that they were mailing immediately if they came in illegally and claimed asylum, or however it was working, then they were immediately sending them a social security number so that they could go get an ID card, and they were all on these Medicaid benefits and whatever. One of the strange things to me, so not only do there are these tracked benefits that we're seeing that they're sending to people that haven't been born yet, trillions, billions of dollars to people that haven't been born yet, to people that are 115, 120 years old, all this. But now they just found 5 trillion. And this, your payments guy, explain this one to me. They found 5 trillion in untraceable payments. What's an untraceable payment? And how do you find an untraceable payment?
Right. And our payments are fully traceable, but theirs aren't. How does that work?
Yeah, how does that work?
And that's why, obviously, they don't want blockchain-based voting if we can track and see what really goes on. You know what I mean? That's not good. They definitely have technology with blockchain, with crypto, like technology similar to NFTs, through facial recognition type of stuff, where they can get it where, hey, this person is legitimately placing the vote. And it would be a lot better of a system. They would get more participation, I feel like. So it'd be better for Americans overall. But instead, we're fighting about voter ID. That should be obsolete. It's like things that we're fighting about in the payment system should be all this stuff should be obsolete. But we're fighting the wrong fight. And I almost wonder, well, this ID thing, is that them screwing us? Like, even like that thing when you travel, the real ID and all that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Is that their way of putting more? That's actually their way to put more control on us. That's not good.
Yes, they trick you at the airport and they get people. Well, oh, if you'll do real ID, we'll sneak you to the front of the line, and they're tricking people and getting them to. And once again, you're opting in. You're opting in. Go ahead. You don't have to do it, but you're opting in, and then you're giving up your identity. You're giving up your identity, and I think we're so close. So my friends at Dragon Chain, they have explained to me multiple times, and I always do a terrible job explaining it to everyone else, but I try. There is a way that you can have an identity that can be validated with still having anonymity. So, and they went to like multiple platforms and different things, even governments, to say like, hey, we have this way and this figured out. And he's like, they don't want it. They don't want you to be anonymous and identified. But there is a way to do it. And they talk about, like, they use these, and I still can't remember. Sean said that I say something and that's inappropriate, but they called them like key parties or something like this. And you would go to these parties or these things, these crypto guys would go and they would exchange parts of keys, or they would exchange their keys. But like, all I would know about you is that you lived in Jersey and you have a beard. And all you would know about me is that I'm over 50 and I have 5 kids. But then like somebody in the chat, Westwood, would know that you're a dude and how many kids you have or something. Like each each piece would only know, and then because the multiple things it's like cross checking.
Yeah.
Then, oh yeah, that matches. But no one would have all the keys to one person.
It's almost like multi-sig technology.
Yeah, like a multi-sig for an identity. And so that would allow, okay, yes, that is a person that is a United States, don't freak out on me, people. I'm going to say the C word, citizen. But
why is that a bad word now?
Oh, I have a lot of people that are in common law stuff and all that. And like, if you say citizen, then that means you're a slave. And then they get all crazy pants on me and all this. Anyway, we're in a transition. We're leaving martial law. We're going to a merit system. Yes, I believe all of that, but I'm still trying to bridge the gap and have conversations with people. So just stay with me, folks. But so identifying as a sovereign, that's the word you're supposed to say. Sovereign, I'm a sovereign, but to identify myself but being still anonymous. So that way you could actually, because our census is all screwed up, we know that, but that way we could have a true census and we could each identify as a sovereign by still having our anonymity. So we could vote anonymously, we could be validated, we could watch our vote because we could see it on the blockchain and we know which vote is ours, but no one else does. So that's the way, like, we could fix the census, we could fix the voting, we could fix a lot of things.
You fix a lot.
Once again, no one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. So we have to quit every time they hold a vote for us and we line up and we show our IDs, or every time we opt in and go, oh, well, I want to jump in line 20 and get through the TSA 20 minutes earlier. I'll go do, Real ID or whatever. Like, we have to opt out more and more. The only way we're going to fix this is by opting out of their systems and using the new blockchain, the sovereign systems, all of this.
Even look at how bad the airline. Look at TSA. So basically, pilots used to make a lot more money, be better trained. Now they make less money, less training, and we have TSA, who's never saved us from anything. So it's like, TSA sucked up a lot of the money. Mm-hmm. It's taken it from the pilots who actually deserve the money. It's made a worse experience. The TSA is like they're basically, it's kind of like the Patriot Act. I think they were something that also came out of the Patriot Act, was TSA. You said it, Lisa. You think they're just there to catch people with precious metals and stuff. I mean, could be. The only time they really bother me, once I brought 30 or 40 silver 1 ounce coins to the Litecoin Summit. I had to wait for some damn lady that was on her lunch break. I almost missed my flight so she could look at the coins. It's silver. It's legal tender in the United States, silver.
And it's not liquid. They're so worried about more than 3 ounces of liquid. Why are they worried about your silver?
Why are they worried about my silver? Exactly. It's silver. You need a lady to inspect it. They're silver coins.
And I got stopped coming back from Texas one time, and they were asking me about, no, we think you have a bunch of jewelry in here, and we're going to, and they were looking for metals, precious metals. And if you watch those, like those reality shows with the airplane terminals or whatever, they pull people out and pull people aside, and they're just pulling out their metals. And if they don't have a receipt, or they can't prove that they, it's like paid taxes on it, or prove that it's old or something like that, I can't remember the rule on it, then they snag it from them.
Sure.
And I believe, and I have heard the stories about what was under 9/11 and why Giuliani was sweating profusely that day when Sidney Powell said, I will release the Kraken, and Giuliani is pouring sweat, and that he was possibly told, we know why you got the towers cleaned up so quickly, and all that metal went to China.
There you go.
Just saying, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm just gonna get a shirt that says allegedly.
It's
Everything he said allegedly.
Tell them, Lisa, that'd be a good shirt. Hashtag allegedly.
Allegedly.
I love it.
Oh man,
so yeah, guys. If I do a video, I'm probably pretty tweaked about something, and that's what's getting me to do the video. Going forward, those are going to be my videos. I get tweaked. I do it. I'm too angry to put it out in words. I need to talk about it.
Mom's asking, supposedly you can't fly without
Real ID. You can use you could use a passport or the Real ID if you have a passport. So if you don't have that, then you have to go get a passport. I mean, what if you forget the passport? You're going to the airport. You're halfway there, and you're like, oh, I forgot my passport. What do I do now? Well, you're missing your flight, I guess. It's I mean, do you want to be flying with all this stuff? I don't.
How many planes are falling out of the sky every day?
I don't want to be flying personally, so I'm not flying for a while. If I fly ever again, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. One more quick update. I shared it on WBRT this morning. This is huge news. So Jason Siebert, who is an attorney, used to work for the SEC. He's a former SEC guy, but he's now seen the light. Really good guy. Franklin Jason Siebert. Just call him Jason. Or Mr. Siebert. He is now representing Reggie. And this is a proposed briefing schedule for a motion to vacate the consent order for judgment for fraud on the court in the SEC versus Reggie Middleton case. This is supposed to post, defendants are moving papers to be filed April 11th. So that's Friday, tomorrow, right? Is that right? Yeah, that's tomorrow. May 2nd is the SEC's opposition, if any, to the motion to be filed. May 9th, defendants will respond. So when you go to court, there's this calendar thing. Like it doesn't just like they have these dates. And so they have these time, they have so many days to respond. They have so many days for this to oppose. Then they have so many days to respond. So this is the timeline that is already set. So this is so awesome. So this is request for briefing to schedule a motion to vacate. This is huge. I mean, this puts us into May 9th for the defendant's response, if any. That's if the SEC even has any opposition. There was recently another five more SEC attorneys confronting bar complaints tied to the Jorge Tenreiro controversy. There was, and there's other complaints with.
Good. Go after these people. You know what? They went after us for so long. It's time for them time for some payback.
It is time for we the people to get our day for sure. Yes. And then where's Reggie tagged? This was really exciting. I was reading through. So you know about Reggie doing the coins, or not the coins. They're not
the
coins.
Smart metal thing.
The smart metal thing. The rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then today, was it today or yesterday? I can't remember if it was yesterday or today. But he was talking about, he talked a little bit about like this AI. So the only thing that's guaranteed is the round and a NFT. And then he was like talking about they're getting close to, oh wait, this is new. No, March 30th. That's the old one. Okay. Then he's talking about this AI that could come with the NFT that would like help you with do your trades and manage your portfolio, all this kind of stuff. Where's a good, sorry, I'm trying to find a better one. Why is this such old tweets on his Twitter thing? March 27th. That's kind of weird that it's not showing current tweets. Hold on. That's really odd, huh? March.
Maybe it's gonna.
Okay. Somehow I'm scrolled down. Okay. Sorry, guys. SEC maybe.
Duran said, "Does Reggie's NFT violate his own patent?" That's pretty fun. That's pretty funny.
I think he asked permission.
Duran, what are you, a comedian?
He asked permission. Okay. Imagine one infused with Satoshi Nakamoto's latest ideas. Gosh, where's the one that he had such good information? Dang it. Sorry, guys. When he gets to tweeting. I should have had it already pulled up. I'm sorry, you guys. I'll try to find it and I'll post it in the Telegram group. But basically, he talks about like how it would be like an AI, but it's catered to you and to your portfolio, and it would help you like manage your stuff. So it's kind of cool.
It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool though with that smart metal. He only guarantees the metal that it's still. I guess it's real silver. Yeah. And the NFT. That's it. Everything else is up for your imagination, I guess, or whatever.
All the things, but it's exciting, and that's part of that, like saving yourself, taking personal responsibility, and that's in your finances, in your wealth, your health, your personal safety. All the things, our emotional intelligence, like all of these things. It's like, it's time. We were having this talk today. My beautiful, amazing, single, younger sister came over tonight, and, we were celebrating. She just got, her like first job out of nursing school. She's an RN, and we're super excited for her and just really proud of all the things that she's accomplished. And we're talking about, her kids being so excited for her, and how proud they are of their mom and all this. It was just really sweet watching them get so excited for their mom. And I was like, you did a great job. And, your kids are proud of you, and you did the right thing when your kids are, how do we say it? Like, you're raising adults, you're not raising children, and her kids are, finding their way as, starting to. Some of them are still minors, but there's one that's an adult, and he's finding his way, and they're seeing her as such a great example. And so I don't know, it's just kind of exciting to kind of watch, and that's where it's time for all of us to kind of grow up.
100%. 100%.
Grow up. Yeah. Yeah. And that doesn't mean we're going to do everything right. We're going to make mistakes, but like Charlie says, you're going to win or you're going to learn.
I think it's owning up to the mistakes, or not being, hey, I made a mistake, or this, it is what it is. It's not, and it's, you can, it's kind of old expression, cut your losses. As long as you make a mistake, you say, come clean. Hey, I made a mistake. Here's how we fix it. Here's how we move on. Then if you keep investing, maybe not money, but your time, your energy, your effort into that mistake, knowing it's wrong, now all of a sudden you're in the wrong. It's like, hey, look, you identified a mistake. You could have corrected it. You could have fixed it. You didn't, because your pride got in the way and your ego got in the way. And you had to keep saying you were right. Now you're in the wrong. Now that's bad. But it's, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, even in life, Mrs. Baidu for work or whatever, people are like, oh, Johnny, how do you know so much stuff? I said, because I made a lot of mistakes.
Right.
So what do you? And I say, yeah, no. I say, you want to make mistakes when you're starting out, because that's how you learn. We could sit here in a classroom and I could teach you this all day, and it's gonna go in one ear most of it and out the other until you go out and do it and screw up. You're gonna be like, guess what? I'm never gonna do that again because it didn't work. I messed up. Oops, I said the wrong thing. I know that now. So that's how I've learned, honestly, is just messing up a bunch of times and then realizing like, hey, I messed up. Okay, here's the right way to do it. Put that into what I do. Now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, who trained you how to do this? It's like, nobody. I just screwed up a lot. That's how I became like an expert of it, by just screwing up a ton of times,
That's good though. Yeah, that's how, I can't remember what inventor or whatever, was it Edison or whatever, failed so many times or whatever. Yeah.
But I've seen people work with them where their ego, they're going to get hurt, or they have to be the expert and know the best, and they keep committing to wrong ways of doing things. And in the end, they don't know how. It's like, well, how do those people not know a lot? They've been doing it for longer than you. And it's just like, they're not seeing and recognizing the mistakes and learning from it, where like, maybe I made a mistake. Cool. Like, well, you always can learn from everybody too. That's the thing. There's no expert in anything in life. No one's 100% of an expert. You be an expert in something, and somebody comes in that maybe just learned about it and shows you a perspective or angle, and you're like, hey, I didn't think of it that way. That's actually a good point.
Sure, there can always be a new way to,
or you're just
in a cat.
Or they saw something you didn't do. They read something you didn't get a chance to read yet. They learned something you didn't learn yet. It's like, oh, wow, they're a resource now. You know what I mean? So I would beware of people that have too much of a God complex, where they're not learning from anybody around them. Then that's a person I'd be very like, that's a big red flag in just people in general in life. It's like, maybe I shouldn't get too close to these people because they're maybe not the best to align with. They can't see their own faults.
Yeah, I mean, we see those all the time. Yeah,
we do. We do.
And the most important thing is when you see it in yourself. And then when you see it in yourself, man, check yourself and get humble.
That's all. Hey, it's just get humble, and it's and like it's about identifying it and then fixing it. If somebody does that, even if they make a lot of mistakes, if they keep identifying and fixing them, as an outsider or someone else, you say, well, I respect this person. They're seeing their mistakes, they're fixing them, they're owning up to it, they're taking response. I want to do business with somebody that I would want to align myself more with somebody that made more mistakes but owned up to them and fixed them, than someone that was like, well, like, this person seems to just do everything right. It's like, well, they've been battle tested. What about when they screw up? How are they going to operate then? This other person screwed up more, but you know what? They always fix it, and they're always come clean that they did. That's my guy there. That's my girl there. I'm with them. You know what I mean? This other guy, what? You know what? It's weird. They're always done everything so perfect. Is somebody helping them along with it that we don't know about, or are they cheating us, or is the invisible hand?
White pants might not look so clean. Part of our story with Mia. And on the 15th, I'm going to just do, for her birthday, I'm going to do like a live stream thing, because we're in between houses and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and whatever. And so I'll put up I'm going to do like an admin wallet, and then that way that'll help me do a meetup for next year or whatever. Nice. And people can donate if they want, but if you don't, that's fine. But I'd love for everybody to join, and we'll do like a live chat together. But I've got a video that I have when I was interviewed at UCO at the Oklahoma College, and tell her story. And I believe this story is in there, but it was that I had started doing the graduation parties, and then because we didn't want involved with the government and foster care and all that stuff, but we wanted to help kids aging out. And then they told us about Mia, and then we decided we were going to help. But we were like, and they said that you have to go through this home study thing. Well, we had just had a situation with one of our biological kids where one of our children were actually arrested for beating up a police officer at school. And we had to go through the court system, and we had to then go through family counseling. And I was like, who is going to be like, no one's giving us a child. My middle schooler just beat up a cop. Like, clearly I'm a bad parent, you know? And the DHS worker was like, no, you're being honest with us that your child was struggling and you guys went and got help. You didn't just say, I have a bad kid. Your whole family went and got counseling so you guys could all help your child together. So you're like, you weren't blaming your child. You weren't blaming the school. You were saying, look, something's wrong and we need help and we all want to be part of helping. And so that part of being teachable or wanting to learn, wanting to change for them meant the world, that we would be that open and transparent. They were like, those are the kind of parents we need.
Credibility.
Yeah. Not these people that, oh, everything is perfect and I'm the perfect parent and I know how to discipline in every situation and me and my husband never fight and blah, blah, blah. She was like, those are the people that we think are a little cuckoo in the head and probably the most dangerous.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just think the more we can all think about being open to having opportunities to learn and grow from each other, and not have to live up to some bullshit fake book standard.
It's so important. Even when we get like new deals and new accounts and places, and I always see people like, I hope nothing goes wrong. Or if it's somebody new, I say, well, I kind of hope something does go wrong. Like, what do you mean? I said, I don't want like a nuke to go off on us, but like, let's let one or two little things maybe go wrong. Let's let the customer see us actually fix it and swoop into action. Because those are the people a year or two down the line, they call us with a referral because like, hey, you guys are great. I remember when this happened, you guys fixed it. You guys took care of it. It's the people that nothing ever goes wrong. It's so smooth. They switch from us. Because we're like, we don't need those people. It's smooth to set all this stuff.
Point. Yeah.
So I always say, no, actually, let one or two things go wrong and let them see us fix it and actually treat them good and do what we do. And we want that. You know what I mean? So, guys, no hiding. Get your heads out of the sand. And I think that's the lesson here is take responsibility for your actions. Own up to things, and I think things are going to be you're going to be a lot better off in the long run. Let's put it that way.
And take control and possession of all your hard assets.
Yes. Assets in your own possession, guys.
Assets in your own possession. That's right. Sorry, I'll have to show you guys my I'll have to go through my little slideshow, my presentation sometime. Maybe I'll do that on my Patreon or something. Because I do this little bump joke to start off, and I say, well, I guess it started when I started collecting hard assets, and then I show a picture of Charlie in the pool, and he's blowing me kisses, and he's all big and muscly and tanned, and the ladies at Beyond Mystic Conference loved it. They were all just like, yes. It was awesome. So that was my little joke to kick off my speech.
That's cute.
Anyway, so get your hard assets in your own possession and take control of those hard assets.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys all next time. Thanks, Johnny.
See you guys. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.